ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the stream. This is the Bar Down Podcast. I'm your host, Vexum, joined once again by Marvel Man, who is currently out of town, so sorry if he sounds a little bit off. But Marvel Man, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Kind of sucks I'm out of town, but, it's all working out. I enjoyed here, so we're going to get stuff done.
Awesome. Well, you did miss a heck of a day of some Rocket League, Marvel Man. You ready to jump on into it?
I'm excited. Yeah, let's do it.
Alrighty. So, starting things off, we had the Club versus Dignitas. What did you think of this matchup, Marvel Man? The Club, just to remind everyone at home here, pull up the results. The Club actually won 4-2 over Dignitas. Life of being a Dig fan, man, I cannot imagine it.
I know. It's got to be tough. We talked about it, I think it was, yesterday. These teams, they just, they don't stay consistent at all. Dignitas, being one of those teams, on a good day they can play good, on a bad day they play bad, and today was just a bad day for them. They did not play good at all. Club definitely deserved the win. I was talking about it with you earlier. Club's got a soft spot for me. I really like the Club, so good for them.
Yeah, the Club definitely showing out today. Astromic KV1 lost. This squad has definitely not gotten enough respect throughout the entire event, and it's something that we knew coming in, that we're high on the Club. We're high on all these South American teams coming into the event, but little did we actually know how good they would end up doing. And man, life as a Dignitas fan, it's got to be tough, because you're talking a team that swept Space Station Gaming, one of the potential favorites to win the entire event at this point, and then to be swept by Optic Gaming, who is good but not that good. Play a super competitive series against Falcons, and then come out today and lose to the Club 4-2. And I know 4-2 isn't that bad, but the Club feels like a team that Dignitas should be beating with the world-class roster that Dignitas has and the world-class organization that Dignitas is. Certainly a tough one if you're a Dig fan, but if you are a South America fan, a Club fan, a fan of just more diverse teams, today was a big day for you. And huge ups to the Club. Very well played. And I'm really looking forward to, we're going to talk a little bit later about this, but I'm really looking forward to their matchup tomorrow. But moving right along here, next up, we had K-Corp taking on Optic, and K-Corp actually ends up 4-2ing Optic today. Marvel Man, what were your thoughts on this one?
I don't think there was much surprise here. K-Corp, they're a solid team. Optic, not so much. It's no surprise, like I said earlier. They definitely should have won this match. Optic Gaming is a solid team. They play really well, but K-Corp, they're just better. And at the end of the day, they just play more aggressive. They're cleaner. Optic Gaming, they can't keep up. And we kind of see this with the matches that they keep playing against other people. Like if we talked about earlier with G2 Esports, they're a solid team. I mean, like going up against G2 is really hard. So for Optic Gaming to not keep up makes sense. Push it back, maybe. Let's go Swiss here. Yeah, Swiss. Yeah, so if we go back here, I mean, they even played up against Renegades and lost. So it seems like no matter who they play against, they just cannot keep up. So again, it's just no surprise. K-Corp definitely deserved the win.
Yeah, K-Corp, definitely one of the hotter teams we knew coming into the event, with the talent on the roster, led by Astral, of course, and accompanied by Itachi and Nolly, both top-tier superior players in their own rights. We knew this K-Corp roster was primed to do something big, and they're doing exactly what we thought. They're right on track, executing how they need to execute, and getting the job done right on time. The 4-2, it worries me a little bit going forward. K-Corp, they're a good team, but it seems almost like they're trending in the direction of cooling off. And Marvin, maybe you can weigh in a little more on this, but to me it definitely seems like they're cooling off a bit. What do you think?
That's definitely, that's a valid point. They have not played as solid as I would say that we saw in the wild card, and maybe that's just because they're going up against a little bit harder of a competition here. But I definitely can see how you think they're cooling off, because it's definitely showing in their gameplay. But they're still a solid team, so I'm excited to see, maybe they can turn it back up.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I reference them cooling off a little bit, let's not, get too drastic out of hand. They did sweep and go 3-0 in wild card play, but then they did drop a series 4-1 against Furia. Furia, again, another top tier team, but then they dropped 2 to Optic today, who everyone knows I'm not super high on Optic, and now you got to go play a high top tier team, much like Furia, in Team Falcons, and very similarly built, might I add, of a lot of One's players. And actually some bold tweets and bold interview quotes coming out today from Astral following the match. He was interviewed and actually was asked about their matchup tomorrow against Team Falcons Esports, and he said, and I quote, "They're just a bunch of One's players, and he's not that worried." And man, it smack talking, it's tough, man. It's tough. It either will work and get in Falcons' heads, or you're going to look very, very silly. Because again, a team of One's players just beat you a couple days ago in Team Furia. So certainly an interesting storyline to watch there. But let's keep moving right along here. Our next matchup was Endpoint versus Space Station. And Space Station, of course, got the 4-0 sweep. We all kind of saw that coming. But Marvin, man, what were your thoughts on the Space Station versus Endpoint matchup?
I thought it was solid. I'm, a Space Station fan that's very happy to see. So hopefully they can kind of get out of this little bit of like a rot they've been having going against. But I wouldn't even say that, because they went against Moist in round 1. Or, they went against Moist. Sorry, I thought I saw something there. They went up against Moist in round 1, which are a solid team. So, that's really tough to go in there and have to face them. So, hopefully they can, only go up from here, keep winning games. I think I see here they're going up against version 1 of Next. Is that right? I think so.
Yeah, they will be playing version 1 tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's exciting. So, yes, hopefully they can get the win there and just keep going up from here.
Yeah, some absolute banger matches tomorrow, as you said. Space Station on the precipice of going 3-0 in bracket, then drop a series to version 1. And then we're kind of up and down the entire Swiss bracket, qualifying in the last round, round 5. And then unfortunately for them, that meant they had to end up playing Moist in round 1 of group play, where they gave them a good fight, but couldn't quite finish the job. And so it's good to see them get back on their feet here. And Daniel, I saw him in the Ones Friday night duels, I think they called it tonight. They had some 1v1 show matches on the stage. Daniel's looking in peak shape. I think Space Station is in some pretty good spots going forward here. And if I was version 1, I'd be worried tomorrow. And again, we're going to cover that a little bit later when we predict tomorrow's matches. But Space Station looking on peak. They played very strong today. I know I haven't been high on Endpoint, but a win is a win no matter what, and they got it done in a sweep. Moving on to our last matchup of the day, though. It was the General NRG taking the series against Renegades 4-2. Marvel Man, your thoughts on this one?
I think we may have said this yesterday, or maybe I was saying it off stream, but if NRG would have lost this game, I think that would officially meant they were dead. So it's really great to see them that, get the win here. And we were talking Renegades, you almost want to say, like, should they have 4-0'd them? I don't know. I was thinking at first, yeah, but then you convinced me, they went up against Team BDS, which then went against version 1. And BDS 4-0'd, but Renegades got a point on BDS. So, Renegades is a solid team, even though we kind of, dog on them a little bit, but they're really great. So it's good for NRG to, put the foot down and get a win.
Yeah, absolutely. NRG getting the job done when it mattered most today. And it looked a little shaky, not gonna lie. They went up in the series 2-0. Seemed like everything was going their way. And then it started to happen. Renegades called a timeout. They won Game 3. Renegades won Game 4. Renegades went ahead in Game 5, and it seemed like, oh no, the sky is falling. NRG, we've been saying it all wildcard, all worlds long, that NRG is a team just waiting to pop off. They've reports coming out of scrims, they've looked pretty good in scrims. And then we saw them against version 1. Although they lost 4-0, it wasn't a 4-0 series. They looked highly competitive. And then today, against Renegades, it seemed like we were in the same matrix again, where Renegades were making some insane stops, just time after time after time after time. the defense of Renegades was peaking, and then the defense stopped peaking. And the shots that should go in started to go in for Energy. And I think seeing the ball go in the net a little bit will definitely help them going forward. And tomorrow they're going to be playing off against Semper, and again, we're going to cover that in a little bit as well. But I think that is going to be a good matchup for them, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a little bit. But that leads us into our topic here. Marvelman, Energy back on track?
Oh, man. You know, I said it. If they would have lost against Renegades, I think they would have officially been dead. So I think in a small amount, they're back on track. I don't think in a huge amount. I don't think, tomorrow they're going to be world champions. But I definitely think that they're on the right steps here. NRG is definitely a solid team. They've been kind of in the slums recently. So hopefully they can pull each other out. But yeah, I mean, like you said, they went up against Version 1 and they put up a pretty good fight. So it's not like they played bad. And I'm sure with Renegades, their hearts were kind of racing a little bit with that Game 3 or Game 4, or did you say Game 5? Yeah, I think it was Game 5 was when they Renegades got back up. So yeah, they had their heart racing around Game 5. So it's good to see NRG pulling it together and moving on. So I think they're on a slow incline, but they're slowly getting there.
Yeah, and no matter what happens tomorrow, too, if you are an Energy fan, you can take solace in the fact that Energy have been the world champions for an RLCS historic consecutive 729 days. Now, most of that due to the pandemic and lack of being able to have a world championship, but hey, you're still the defending world champions from all those years ago at this point in time. So you can hold on to that for just a little bit longer if you are an Energy fan, no matter what happens. And who knows, maybe they go on a run. I know what I'm seeing. They're trending in the right direction. And I would not be surprised at all to see them take down Semper tomorrow, and we're going to cover that matchup more particularly when we get to our last topic of the night here. But I would not be surprised at all to see them go on a run. The ingredients are there. The makings are there. It's just, will NRG shake and tumble into the perfect recipe, and will the chef be able to cook it and get it out on time? NRG they're right there to being right back where they were as one of the top tier teams. And if they can just get that little bit more, that finish, that extra stop, that one less turnover, control possession a touch longer, those small increments, those small differences, I think will make them a very scary team if they can qualify for the playoff bracket come Sunday. But leading to our next topic, we have to talk about this, all right? And there's just no way around it. Sam is putting on a show, all right? With 2 of their 3 teams still left in the competition. Only 3 South American teams qualified for Worlds. Only 3 were allowed. And 2 of them, Furia and the club, are facing off tomorrow in lower semifinals for one of them to make playoffs. But 2 of them have made it this far. Marvelman, what are your thoughts on the fact that 2 South American teams have made it this far?
I mean, what are the odds? That's almost crazy. It's like going into a tournament, trying to team up on everybody, and then you end up getting paired up next to each other. It's tough to see, but in the end, I guess it shows more representation of the more dominant team within that area, I suppose. You can look at it like more in a positive light. But I think it's going to be an exciting game. Oh man, I think that these teams are just going to get better. I think honestly playing each other is what's going to help. They go against these other teams, which it definitely affects the way that they play. But I think playing against your own pub area is definitely what's the word I'm looking for? It's definitely optimistic to them. I don't know. What's the word I'm trying to find?
Yeah, iron sharpens iron. And playing a lot of these top tier teams are only going to be better for the South American region as a whole. But with them proving this new caliber of depth really makes you question. We thought this tournament was going to be the show out for MENA, showing, hey, we're not just a one Team Falcons region. We have depth, which I think they showed that to an extent, but didn't have the ability to really show their true might. Whereas South America is absolutely showing that depth and showing that might. to a level that even I didn't think was going to be possible. Something to note, the club that is still in it was the number 3 seed out of South America. The number 2 seed, Team Secret, was oh so close to qualifying for the main event in groups. They just got knocked out in round 5 of the wild card Swiss bracket. So they were oh so close to still being left in this tournament. And man, I'm really excited to see where the South American region can go from here. Like you referenced, Marv, man, iron will sharpen iron. The better teams playing the better teams will always make these teams better. And so this experience will only help the club. It will only help Fury, who's already a World Championship contending roster. If you say they aren't, then you're just lying to yourself and whoever you're talking to. Because these South American teams are really showing out, and showing out in a huge way. And any RLCS fan should be excited about the depth coming from these other regions. More teams, more talent is only going to accelerate the gameplay in the game as a whole. But Marvel Man, we have one more thing of business to attend to before we wrap up for tonight. We need to make our predictions for tomorrow's games. Tomorrow's games are some absolute bangers here. As I go ahead and pull up the bracket here, we can see that some of these teams, some of these matchups are going to be absolutely insane. And we'll go ahead and we'll start with the very first one, which is Version 1 versus Space Station Gaming. Marvel Man, your thoughts?
This is tough. I don't even want to choose because I secretly like Version 1. Like, I don't want to exclude them, and I'm pretty sure I'm going for Space Station because I said that they're on the incline here. I'm sticking with them. I'm the bandwagon on Space Station, but Version 1 is a really solid team. I would not be surprised if they went in there and definitely showed Space Station what they got. But I'm going to go with Space Station only because I think that they're more aggressive, and that's just something that Space Station has always been. They've just been really aggressive with how they play, and I think Version 1 is more of a team chemistry type of vibe. And so with Space Station, they're just really aggressive, and I think they're going to cut off a lot of those team plays. So I think Space Station is what's going to take it here. I'm going to say for the series, probably 4-2. I think Version 1 is definitely going to give them a run for their money.
Yeah, Space Station definitely trending in the right direction. As we said, Daniel's starting to really pop off now. Really getting comfortable with the LAN environment. And the whole SSG crew as a whole, Arsenal, is getting better. He was, recently sick. No confirmation of, was it just a stomach virus? Whatever it was, he seems to be getting better. He's playing infinitely better. And Space Station definitely trending in the right direction. However, I'm not done with Version 1 yet. Version 1 is just simply built different with Beast Mode, Calm, Torment, the Brick Wall. I think, honestly, it's just too much for Space Station to handle. This is going to be such an incredible match. And I'm going to say Version 1 is going to take it 4-2. What were your thoughts, Marvel? What do you think the bracket was going to be?
I said 4-2, but Space Station.
Space Station. I would not be surprised to see it go 7 at all. But I think Version 1 is just going to be too much to handle for Version 1. And let's go ahead and let's stay on the A side of the bracket. And let's talk about Semper Esports versus the General NRG. Worth noting, Semper Esports, with their COVID concerns and COVID issues, will have a minimum of 2 players competing at the venue from another private room. Still no real clarification about will it be a LAN environment connection or will it be an internet connection with ping issues, because again, that envelops a whole new idea of, some, what's the word we're looking for? Competitive integrity concerns regarding, playing on ping now. So definitely hope it's a LAN connection. Hopefully they can at least have the coach and the 1 player, or even both, if it's 2 players, whatever it is. The 2 healthy players can be out on the stage to at least get their moment in the shine. But worth bringing that up. Now, Marvin, I want to hear your thoughts about this matchup of Semper versus the General NRG.
I think if it was a normal day, and the sky was blue and the grass was green, Semper Esports takes this all day, every day. But it's not that. The rain is coming down. There's no grass. It's a desert. This is completely out of the ordinary. So with how Semper is, and their COVID problems, I think this is a prime opportunity for NRG to come in and take it to them, which is kind of sad to say because I know that they're struggling on the Semper side. I don't want them to, tear them a new one, but I definitely think NRG, if they're trying to get back into being the dominant team, this is the time to strike.
Yeah, definitely.
But Semper, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
But Semper,
Finish.
Semper, can they go past their COVID problems? I'm not too sure. I kind of want to hear what you have to think before I make my prediction, though.
Yeah, the health of the two players in question is definitely the question, right? Are they feeling, A, no symptoms? Are they feeling B, some symptoms, but they're feeling all right? They feeling C, not feeling great, but they're feeling good enough to play? Are they feeling D, we're only playing because it's World Championships and you don't get this chance every time? Where is their health at? Where is their mental health at? Having to go through this on the road, living out of a hotel room, thousands of miles from home, being an EU team. Another question that begs into this favor. And also, Semper, if you look at recently, they're trending down. The general NRG, they're trending up. And I think they're going to keep trending up. I'm going to take the general NRG taking the series. I'm going to say it's a bit competitive, but I'm going to say General NRG is going to take this by a score of 4-2 over Semper.
I'm 100% agree with you. I say oh no, but I'm agreeing with you. I think it's tough for Semper because they were such a strong team in the beginning. But with all this happening, I don't know if they can keep up. Now, if they go in there, and you can tell right off the start, like with how they play, if they go in there and they're playing just like they normally do, I have no doubt they'll beat NRG. Like, I have no doubt in my mind. But if they're going in there and they're just playing a little bit slow, and I can tell that they're just not feeling well, NRG has it all day. So I'm agree with you. I think 4-2 is a good call.
Hopping it over to the B side of the bracket now, we will have Carmine Corp versus Team Falcons, and oh man, how did we get this in the lower bracket? This is not right. These are two very good teams dueling way earlier than it feels like they should have to. But Marvel Man, what are your thoughts for this matchup, Falcons versus Carmine Corp?
I think on an average day, I'd be picking Team Falcons. No doubt. But with how they played against FaZe Clan, I don't know if that's a good choice. FaZe Clan also just played stupid. They played so well that it was just unreal. I don't think, like we said, I don't think they can do that ever again. And Team Falcons just play bad. K-Corp isn't a bad team. They play solid all the time. But I still think Falcons is going to take this one. Not much to say. I think it's just they're a solid team. I'm saying Falcons. I'm going to say 4-1. Say 4-1. I wouldn't be surprised if it went a little bit farther in the series, though, like 4-3, 4-2.
I definitely like your pick of Falcons. Astral, they're just a bunch of ones players. Well, funny you should say that, Astral, because currently TRK is number 1 ranked in the world. In not 1, not 2, not 3, but now 4 different game modes. TRK of Team Falcons is number 1 ranked in the world. That is 1s, 2s, 3s, and for tournament matches. TRK is just on another level. And he had a cold day the other day against FaZe. Ahmed, an alright day. Khalid, a cold day against FaZe. Really just not much happening for the squad. They're bound to have a rebound day against the Carmine Corp that seems to be trending down at least a little bit. Team Falcons, I think, is going to make a statement and is going to come out and get it done. I'm going to say Falcons 4-1. I want to give Carmine Corp 2, but I think I'm going to stick with the 1. I think I'll give him 2. I'll give him 2. I'm a kind man. I'll give Carmine Corp 2. And hopefully reverse jinx Carmine Corp, so that way it's a sweep for Falcons. But Falcons are just the better, faster team. They are all ones players. That should exactly be the reason you're frightened, Astral. I mean, it is certainly a task in and of itself how to break down this Team Falcons roster. And how many props I've seen people giving FaZe Clan for shutting down Falcons the other day and their genius game plan. I don't know how genius of a game plan it was, because Falcons still had 100 world-class opportunities. FaZe's defense and their making of saves was what was keeping them in it, not necessarily their game plan. And can Carmine Corp play the defense that FaZe was able to is what it's going to come down to, and I don't think they can. And so that's why ultimately I'm going to go with Team Falcons. And then our last matchup of the lower bracket. I told you all these were bangers, and perhaps none more than this one. We have two South American squads dueling off to find out who is going to make the playoffs on Sunday. We have Furia Esports, the number 1 seed, versus the club, the number 3 seed, both from Sam. Your Marvel Man, let me know. What are your thoughts on this one?
I want the club. I want the club to win. I mentioned earlier, I have a soft spot for them, and I think they're a really good team when they come to play. I mean, like, when they get to the point where they're just peaking, they're just a phenomenal team. So it's really tough to see them going up against Furia, because Furia is also a really solid team. They're fast, they're mechanical, they are just outright dumb behind the controller. It's crazy. But who's going to win? That's the question. I'm going to take the club. Just because I want to see them win. That's merely it. I think, it could go either way. I think most of these matches could go either way. They're all great, competitive teams here. I'm saying the club, though. I'm taking it to Game 7. I'm saying 4-3. Game 7, the club.
Wow. I'm going to be honest, Marvel Man. I love the club. I believe in them as a team. I think Furia is just another beast entirely. I'm picking Furia. And I'm feeling generous. So I'll give the club a game. I'm saying Furia 4-1. I think it could be a sweep. I think Furia is just that much better of a team. And honestly, I think we were talking about this a little bit earlier. Once these teams get into the playoff bracket, the winner of the Furia Club matchup will be playing Moist Esports in round 1. And I wouldn't be surprised if Furia, as long as they take care of business against Club, I wouldn't be surprised to see them knock off Moist in round 1. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But
I think that's a hard take.
It's a hard one. But just to show everyone basically what this boils down to here is version 1 versus Space Station. The winner of that game will play FaZe Clan on this lower side of the bracket. Just above them, the winner of the Semper versus General NRG matchup will be playing G2 Esports. Hopping on over to the B side of the bracket, the winner of Team Falcons versus Carmine Corp will be playing Team BDS. And on the same side of the bracket, the winner of the Club vs. Furia, as we just said, will play Moist Esports. In my take, whoever wins between BDS and Falcons, and then Moist Furia, the winner of that semifinal matchup for the upper side of this playoff bracket will be your world champion, because I don't see G2, NRG, FaZe Clan version 1 beating any of those teams above them. I know FaZe just took out Team Falcons, but again, I think that was an extenuating circumstance. I think FaZe peaked. I think whoever wins this upper bracket of the playoffs will be your world champions, and that's your hot take prediction 2 days before it even happens. But that all being said, Marvel Man, do you have any closing thoughts before we wrap up the production for today?
I think tomorrow is going to be the best day from wild card to world champions. I think tomorrow is going to be the best day of Rocket League, just by the teams that are going up against each other. And, maybe that's not for everybody, but I personally think for myself, it is going to be one of the best days of Rocket League. Some exciting matchups. So yeah, watch some Rocket League, get your drops, and have fun. Watch them.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think it'll be the best matchups by far, bar none. Not even close. And starting the day with Furia versus the Club Battle of South America. Who is going to win that? That is at 12 p.m. Eastern. Followed by Semper versus NRG at 1 p.m. Eastern. Will NRG rebound? Will Semper fight through the COVID and push through to make the playoffs? Will NRG make the playoffs and continue their run at potentially another world championship? Then at 2 p.m. Eastern, you're going to have Falcons versus Carmine Corp. Can Falcons rebound off the tough loss to FaZe and continue their world championship aspirations? Many had them coming in as one of the favorites to win the world championship, them and Moist. So can Falcons rebound against a hot Carmine Corp that came into this event seeming peak in shape, and Carmine Corp really trying to push through and make a statement of their own? Then we're going to close up the day at 3 p.m. Eastern with the Battle of North America, with Version 1 taking on Space Station, a rematch from the Swiss bracket that we already saw where Version 1 topped Space Station 4-2, but it was a competitive series, and I think this one will be much closer. I would not be shocked to see it go to a Game 7, although I did take Version 1 4-2 again, but that's besides the point. Either way, a load of top tier matchups tomorrow, and I'm super excited to break them down for you guys tomorrow night on the Bar Down podcast. But until then, I've been your host Vexum, and for myself and Marvel Man on the other end of this call, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time.